all the people she could have chose, Kamala Harris picked Meg Thee Stallion to open up her rally in Atlanta. And that's nothing against Meg Thee Stallion. I love a good twerk every now and then. But optics matter, folks. Optics matter.
I just watched your little halftime show. Your little, halftime show with Meg Thee Stallion. I know you call it a rally, but I beg you differ. Ma'am, in 2024, this is how the presidential candidates get black votes, because they think we need ratchet, bougie, classic. I love me some Megan Thee Stallion, don't get me wrong, but I think I'd rather look at Megan at her concerts, listen to her in my ear, or watch like on TikTok or something like that. I don't know if this was the right approach. Y'all, I'm really speechless. I don't even know why I made this video, because I don't even know what to say about it. And maybe just me. Maybe it's 2024 and this is how they coming. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if y'all agree or not. Y'all know me, I'm on my bullshit lately, so maybe I'm tripping. Maybe this is perfectly okay, and I'm just tripping.
You are not tripping. Kente cloths, twerk clothes, or twerk shows, fried chicken, southern draws. I keep hot sauce in my purse. You could take all this footage, all of the footage of the Democrats addressing the black community over the years, and make a daggone full-length film, and we could call it Black Pander. Because that's what these people do. Every daggone election year, they come around and they do this type of foolishness. Black people, are y'all not tired of this? Are y'all not tired of the disrespect? Black women, are y'all not tired of the disrespect? Really? Meg Thee Stallion and Quavo? Meg Thee Stallion twerking? Can somebody in the comment section that wants to support Kamala Harris in this whack, evil institution of the Democrat Party, can y'all tell me what her policies are? Because I couldn't find them on her website. I haven't heard her say anything about the policies that she wants to push, other than she wants to make sure women have the ability to abort their, terminate their pregnancies. This is flat out ridiculous, man. This is flat out ridiculous. And black people, man, if y'all fall for this bull, if y'all fall for this again, you deserve whatever you get, man. Golly, man. This just upset me. Just watching that, it upset me. And the sad part about it is you had people on social media posting this like it was a good thing. Now, shout out to the sister, shout out to the brother, and there's a plethora of other people that have stood up and they have voiced their opinion against this madness. But there's entirely too many people, entirely too many women that are standing up and vouching for that madness that happened in Atlanta. It's a slap in the face, man. They don't take y'all serious as serious voters. They don't have to offer you anything. They don't have to talk to you like you are a productive citizen. They bring rappers and twerkers out here. It's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. We're going to get into this video right here, man. Like, share, subscribe to this channel. Drop me a comment down below. We try to bring the truth on a day-to-day basis, man. Some of y'all got to freaking wake the heck up, man. This is embarrassing.
Joining us now is Stacey Washington, host of Stacey on the Right, SiriusXM Patriot Radio, and Anton Daniels, YouTuber and content creator. Anton, let's start with you. You just went viral for an exchange that you had with a Kamala supporter. Let's watch.
Would you vote for?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm going to just be real honest with this. She's a black woman.
Is it only because she's a black woman?
Yeah.
Do you not see how that's a bad idea?
Elaborate.
We're in 3 proxy wars. She failed at the border. She has no policy, no record to stand on.
Okay, Anton, first of all, I think I forwarded that to 20 of my friends. That was such an awesome takedown. But tell us about that, because I saw some of the other participants like nervously drinking their Coke or whatever they were drinking. But tell us about your interactions with people who happen to be African American who instinctively seem to go for Kamala because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. I think it's unfortunate because the majority of my interactions is me being looked at as the bad guy because ultimately they think that I'm supposed to be on code, even though I know and they know that it's not in our best interest, in my family's best interest, in the country's best interest. And when we continue to play identity politics, the thing that they usually refer to is our previous history in electing people in office that ultimately even they will concede that they didn't have our best interests at heart. And so when I'm interacting with these people, often at times it's very difficult for them to step outside of being on code in order to do the thing that's even in their best interest. So I'm often looked at as a bad guy, but in reality, they know I'm telling the truth. And that's why it's so difficult for them to be able to convey and then debate what it is that I'm telling them, because they already know what the truth is. They're not unfamiliar with what it is that they experienced over the last 3.5 years. They're suffering. They don't have jobs. They have lower wages. They can't pay their bills. And so when they experience this, but it's very difficult for us as a community to then break away from the popular thing to do because they don't want to be a part of the cool kids club anymore.
Well,
golly, I couldn't articulate that any better. And he is absolutely right. I've spoken to so many people, out there, just, round and about in my neighborhood and, in the community that I live in that have voiced some of the similar things that Anton just mentioned. They've talked about, the gas prices. They've talked about, how expensive food is. They've talked about the lack of positions that are out there. I know this administration want to gaslight and say, hey, it's the lowest unemployment in 50 years, but they're not accounting for the people that just gave up and just stopped looking for positions. So many people have lost their jobs dating back to 2022, and it's a crying shame that this administration won't talk about it, and it's a crying shame that the mainstream media won't report on it. And you have Black people that are suffering. They've brought these illegal immigrants across the border, and they've placed them in those communities. They're expecting, I've heard scuttlebutt in this, through the scuttlebutt that they're expecting maybe some form of Black and brown, race war of some sort, because they're putting these people in the same communities and they're having to, go at each other for the same resources. That's what this party is doing. And for the sake of, quote unquote, being on code, you have people willing to go against what's actually best for them, what's best for their family, what's best for their community, and what's best overall for the American people and for this country to, quote unquote, stay on code. Flat out ridiculous, man. And it's upsetting.
Stacey, I have to say that seems to sum it up. It's reflexive, and it takes a lot of courage. You know that. Of course, Anton knows that. I clerk for Justice Thomas. I mean, they're still beating him up all these years later. So it's a tough place to be, but it's factually the right place to be. So, Stacey, how do you handle this? And by the way, Kamala Harris behind in Georgia in the swing state poll average, I think by 4 points, 5 points, 6 points. So she's speaking in Atlanta, lots of Kamala signs behind her. One white dude behind her, I see him. Stacey, thoughts on this?
Laura, I think Anton hit the nail on the head. This is about policy, and no one, I don't care who you are, if you're a white woman, a Black woman, it doesn't matter what your skin is. What matters is, how do these policies impact you? How does the policy of open borders and giving jobs to foreigners instead of Americans impact your bottom line? How does the double-digit inflation, which stacks up month after month, is cumulative, impact your bottom line? Can you still save money? Can you take a vacation? Can you buy that home? Can you upgrade? Can you move out of an apartment into a house? These are very real impacts. Anton described them well. And I think when I find people that only want me to address my life as if I get up every morning and say, what am I going to do today because I'm Black? They don't understand me. I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm just somebody's mom on the radio. I'm just somebody's mom on Laura Ingraham tonight for the first time. Thank you. But I'm sitting here listening to Anton. He makes sense. And what makes sense to me is what the policy is,
Well, okay, these are facts, okay? And into the image making of Kamala, even the New York Times today, and forgive me for not having the direct quote, but the New York Times today had to write a piece about Kamala's biographical transformation. And there was a piece about how her father, who's of Jamaican descent, he was a Marxist economist at Stanford, socialist Marxist economist at Stanford. He's still alive. Very controversial, but he's a tenured professor at Stanford University. That she never really talked much about him, that he's kind of a footnote in her biography. But then she leans into it, Anton, and President Trump spoke about this with me. She leans into it, I guess, for her political benefit.
Absolutely. And I think that identity politics is the play. When you don't have anything else to lean on, when you spent the majority of the time being absent, and then on top of that, you then advocated for being part of the alphabet community, which I call them, and then you failed at the border to the tune of the estimation of 10 to 15 million migrants coming into this country illegally, what else do you have to stand on? So then you start to lean on the thing that even black people, honestly, when I'm having these conversations, black people don't even consider her a part of the cool kids club, but they have to lean on it in order to have something to even be able to hold on to instead of just saying, hey, listen, Trump is the best candidate. They want to say that I want to be a part of the Democratic Party, so they figure out a way to validate themselves to be a part of this movement, which is not even best for them. It's silly.
Stacey, a friend of mine who went to law school with me, just messaged me. We were told from the beginning that they couldn't argue the issues. And they know that Trump is better on the economy, better on defending our interests, better on the border, stopping illegal immigration. He won't drag us into war. So all they do is revert back to the childish games as we saw with the white dudes for Kamala. I mean, how pathetic is that? It's almost like it's I thought actually a conservative must have made that. I thought that whole Zoom was created by a conservative because it was so repulsive, but it was so funny. I think in one of the people speaking, I think a lot of the mail-in ballots were hidden. But it's a very strange. They think that helps them.
Yeah, they do. But I think, there are people in America whose incomes are such that these double-digit inflationary impacts don't really mean anything to them. They're insulated from the policy decisions they make in the ballot box. But for most Americans, that's not the case. And even if you are wealthy, if you care about your bottom line, if you're actually very frugal and you pay attention to your money, you don't want to see double-digit inflation. You don't want to see America sending $200 billion to Ukraine. You don't want to see boots on the ground, our own children spilling our blood and treasure abroad for something that we really have no interest in. And you really want to see some cogent domestic policy that prioritizes some of our very serious issues that we had, even coming out of the pandemic: homelessness, mental health crisis, health care. There are some things we need to do.
I know, but Stacey, you're dealing in the realm of facts. When you actually see interviews, when people are pushed on this who are refusing to think differently, they'll say stuff like, well, but he's not going to be good on equity. Right, Anton? Equity. He's going to disembowel equity. And what I say to folks is, how's all the equity of the last 3.5 years worked out for your communities? Illegal immigrants using your schools?
It's absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And it's so funny because, I've been seeing this whole movement, right, where they first leverage sororities and fraternities as far as the Divine Nine to try to include them in order to try to get her to be obviously presidential. I don't think that it's working because everybody that's in my community and the people that I speak with, especially black men, are even disappointed in white men in that why would you then follow white women who are extreme feminists and then let them follow black women in order to try to be a part of this cool kids club?
Oh my God.
When you can't stand on policy and you can't stand on real things that's going to help everyday Americans, especially those that are in these Democratic hellholes that are suffering the most. It's insane.
We got Stacey and Anton, fantastic first appearances on the Ingram Angle.
Anton is on it. Stacey, she was on it. Shout out to Laura Ingram from having both of them on this show, on her platform, and giving them the opportunity to, share this information because people need to see this. I mean, come on, man. We got people that are struggling to pay their bills. They're struggling to make it, but yet they want 4 more years of this foolishness. Come on, make it make sense, man. Solely off of identity politics. Do you mean to tell me we have people out there that would prefer a faux black woman that's not going to do anything to improve our economy, actually going to continue to implement the policies that put us in the situation that we're in right now, They're not going to cut the border off. They're going to exacerbate the situation that we have at our southern border. And y'all want to keep this individual in to check a box for the identity politics and quote unquote equity. This is insane. She's not holding rallies talking about the policies and what she plans to do for this country to right this ship and get us pointed in the right direction. No, that's not what she's doing. She's bringing people like Meg Thee Stallion and Quavo to twerk for y'all. She's going and hung out, at the RuPaul drag race. Skip the meeting, with a world leader to go to a sorority fraternity meeting. This is not a serious person. Come on, feet. Come on, man. Come on. On top of the fact, we have people that consider themselves to be Christians. We have people that consider themselves to be followers of Christ that is supporting this lady. How? How can you call yourself a follower of Christ and believe and support the evil institution known as the Democratic Party? How? The two ideologies are antithetical to each other. How can you justify it? You can't, because you're stuck in racial idolatry. You're stuck in the identity politics realm of things. And you're willing to support someone who actually disrespects what you believe in, all in the name of racial idolatry and identity politics. Guys, it is time to get serious about this situation here, man. It is time to get serious. It really is. I know every 4 years, every 2 years an election comes around. They say that this is the most important election in your life. This is probably hands down the most important election, in our lives. We can't stomach another 4 years of what we have going on right now. We just can't. This country will not be the same. Please take the time to do your research. Please take the time to do your due diligence. Get an understanding of the parties. Get an understanding of the policies or lack thereof. And vote accordingly. This isn't a popularity contest in the sense. This is about who is best fit to do the job, who is best fit to lead this country the right way over the next 4 years. That's what this is about. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. Consider joining the ARP family, man. It supports me, the team, the channel. It gives us the ability to produce this type of content on a day-to-day basis. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. And I'm going to catch up with you all next time.